Hey there, guess what? You survived the OGT. High five. Seriously, we're really pleased with you. Thank you so much for enduring so many hours of testing last week. And in honor of your achievement, we promise in quarter 4 to not talk about it. We're not going to worry about the OGT anymore, okay? Now, we still have some learning to do because there's that thing called high school credit that's super important, and we want to see you finish strong in quarter 4 and earn the credit you need. And just to kind of put things in perspective, I like to know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and so I kind of assume that other people do too. Why we have the work that we have in quarter 4 to do in reading and writing workshops is to prepare you for the job scene or the college scene, depending on what you plan on doing. You're going to do one or the other, right? I mean, you're not just going to sit at home. So, those things considered, we're hoping to help you develop writing and reading skills that are practical but also creative, because there's that part of us that needs to enjoy life and be able to understand emotions created through words and to create emotion through words and to experience and share experiences. So while we want to be practical and prepare you for the job and college scene, we also want to help you cultivate your sense of humanity and others awareness and self awareness. I know it sounds all kind of like we should be on Oprah or something, but there's a reason that Oprah was so successful, right? Okay, so here's what we're doing this week. This is last week's announcement, as you'll recognize, but we are now going to open up the very private quarter 4. This is what we get to do as teachers. We get special privileges. So, welcome to quarter 4, and we want you to start quarter 4 off right. We actually do not have a proctoring requirement. You're done for quarter 4, but we're still going to be doing discussion board. So do hang in there with discussion board, and we're going to stick with our same live schedule of Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 11 o'clock. So what's cooking this week? I always like to start on this page, and we're reading one of excerpts from one of my very favorite books. It's not a typical book. It's a book full of little vignettes, which mean like little scenarios. And the author is a Hispanic author who writes from her growing up perspective. And there's just something about her writing that's just really fresh and real. And even no matter what culture we grew up in, each of our families admittedly have kind of a way of doing things. And you'll be able to identify, even if your experience is different than the author's, you'll be able to identify at some level what she talks about. We're going to get a little creative. Like I said, we're going to get in touch with the humanities a little bit. Look at it is Poetry Month, I believe. We're coming up here on Poetry Month in April. And so we're going to be writing some poetry and doing some creative writing work. So don't hold back, and you don't have to be a great Poems don't have to rhyme. If you want to think of it as like writing song lyrics or just even ranting, sometimes poems can be those things. So let's move on to see what we're doing in reading workshop. This was just to show you the discussion board prompt, and that everything that you need is on this one page. In reading workshop, we are going to be talking about House on Mango. It's our big deal for this week. And there's a lot of reading here. Don't be overwhelmed by it. It's just to kind of give you a little bit of what's going on with this text, this bit of stories. And these are the stories that we're going to be reading. Okay, and then we're going to look at them a little bit more deeply. We're going to talk about them, and mostly we're going to again create our own poem and a paragraph about our poem, kind of imitating the author's style. In writing workshop, we have a music and poetry emphasis again, but this time we're going to think about it more from a writing standpoint. We're going from a reading perspective. We're going to read like a writer, and then we're going to write like readers. And there's lots of fun things to explore in here. Whenever you see big blank spaces, there's hidden messages underneath. So go for it. Look through that. This is some good stuff about how music and poetry, what music and poetry have in common, and how they're different. How music is unique from poetry, and so forth. We're going to talk a lot about poetry terms, and there's going to be a little pre-assessment for you to do. A lot of interaction on these pages. Don't just skip over it, okay? Play the games. Go see what you can do. It's like a magazine where like a little, how did you do? This is what you know. You're an expert. So there's some pre-testing. There's some poetry terms. Again, lots of things to swipe over and learn about. And then a quiz over those terms. So don't skip over the work because the pages because that you need them for the quizzes. We have a little bit of analysis work that we're going to be doing, and while some of these artists may be not your favorite, play along with us. We chose them for a reason because we know that you can actually do that reflection piece that we're asking you to do. We're asking you to dig a little deeper into their lyrics and see how these lyricists create music. That using poetry types of terms. So these are all the things we're digging through this week. And again, don't forget to participate in your discussion board. It looks like we just have 3 assignments this week, two in the writing folder and 1 in the reading folder. And more reading than usual, but we'll really enjoy it because there's none of that OGT pressure, okay? This is just learning to love literature a little bit more, or to start liking it a little bit if you're not even on the radar for enjoying literature. So I hope you have a great week, and please call us with any questions or write to us in Message Center because we get lonely not hearing from you. Bye-bye.